Hi, this is Amit from MentoMind. Thanks for your time watching this video. MentoMind is a digital learning platform powered by AI. However, we are using AI very thoughtfully so that we really solve the problems of students and teachers, but at the same time also take into account all the skepticism and concerns around the use of AI. As One of the things which we are doing to resolve that is focusing on one specialized use case, which is the digital SAT. As most of you know, SAT is going digital in the US from next year. We have built this platform and used AI to personalize learning for students. As compared to a lot of other companies, fairly large companies like Khan Academy and others who are using AI and building it, for the overall K to 12 spectrum of education. One of the reasons why we went for digital SAT is we want to really mature the technology and test it out, for that use case before expanding it to the rest of the K to 12 segment of education. Um, just to give you a little background, how this technology works, we all know what is ChatGPT. It's powered by these large language models, or the more commonly called LLMs. And what is basically behind the scene is, the natural language processing, right? So their ability to understand the intent of the user when they type in something in the chat bot, understanding what the problem we are trying to solve, or what the question a user is asking, and it's really powerful, as we have all seen. But what's concerning or cannot be trusted is the information that it returns. Whether the information is credible, is it authentic, are there privacy or copyright issues, there are some ethical issues and things like those. What we have done, and that's why we have called it as a thoughtful use of AI, is we said, okay, we're going to extract the best out of it, using its natural language processing, train the model with our own digital SAT prep content, like very high quality content that we have developed, and then the student data. So we combine the natural language processing of these large language models uh, with our digital SAT content and the student data, the students who are using our platform, to come up with an AI companion that can help a student, assist a student in that moment of need, while their teacher is not around. And so that's how we are kind of really providing that one-to-one assistance to students, that they really need, to prep for their SAT, or the digital SAT in future. So let me show you how this all looks. Uh, so this is how the MentoMind platform looks. We have these four tabs. Learn, which is where all the content is structured in various topics. For example, for reading and writing, you have all those topics defined here, and each of these topics contain practice questions and other content. And this is based on the College Board guidance of digital SAT curriculum. So what you see is reading and writing. If you switch to math, these are all the topics of math. Uh, if I go inside a particular topic, for example, in reading and writing, I go central ideas and details. It brings up the pathway for a student to learn, right? So from beginner to advanced to mastery. So a student would go from a beginner to intermediate to advanced to mastery, and so these are all these milestones. What happens is a student would practice by clicking here, and what you see is a typical question in central ideas and details. You have a passage, and then it asks you what is the central idea, what is the primary focus of this passage, and you have four options. Now at this time, if the student is stuck, they are not able to understand the passage, they need some hint or some kind of suggestion on the approach they should take to solve this. Since their teacher is not available, the AI learning companion can help the student. So in this case, for example, when I say help me to solve this question, it's not going to tell the answer, but it's going to give some hint or some suggestions for the student to think about to solve this. So for example, in this case, it's kind of asking more question to student, right? So that the student can think at a deeper level, engage their brain more, so to be able to really resolve this problem. And there are bunch of other options, cross out a wrong option, why the certain option is wrong, and things like those. So as a student, if I say, I choose an option and I check, and obviously I thought that the option A is the correct answer, but it's the C. It comes into my mind that why my option is wrong. So one of the option here is, you know, as a student I can check why A is incorrect, and the companion can give a very detailed answer on why a certain option is incorrect. And the language that you see, the response of the bot is kind of tailored to the student. If it's a 9th grade student just started learning at the beginner level, the language is going to be much simpler as compared to somebody in the 12th grade already has reached advanced level and trying to reach mastery. So the language may be a little more tailored for that student. As a student, I can also type in, I want to practice more questions with similar solutions, so that I understand the concept, but I want to just practice more. So the companion can bring right in this window another question, so that I can keep practicing. It's not that it just returns one, you can just keep asking for more. It goes into our system, brings the question up, and then it helps the student practice more of the similar types. The other major component of the platform is the full adaptive practice tests. These tests gives a student a very real practice of how the actual digital SAT would look like. So for example, if I go in this particular test, it gives you instructions of how to attempt this test. It tells you that there are 2 sections, reading and writing, with each of the section having 2 modules. Similarly for math, you have 2 modules, and there is time listed here for each of those modules and sections. So when you start, you get some instructions. You have the 2-column view. You have a passage or a question, and then you have the options on the right side. You can jump to different questions. You can mark the questions for review. Then you submit this particular module. Since this is adaptive, depending upon your performance in the first module, you get the second module easy or hard, depending upon how you performed in the first one. So in this case, now I'm into the second module. I can just skip this one, and then I have some break time before I attempt the math section. So in the math section, it's very similar. You have these instructions, you have the questions, but you also have a few tools like this calculator that helps with resolving some of the questions. Similarly, you have this reference sheet where you have some formulas which are handy to solve some questions, and very similar pattern here. You can go to any question, submit. Again, the module that you get is that depends on the performance in the first one. So you submit this, and now your test is complete. So just to give you an idea on how the reports look like. So for students, for example, they can see what their score looks like. It's a range. What's the score in reading and writing or in math. Then they go inside a particular module. They can see how they did by difficulty or by topic, how they did as compared to other students on the platform who gave the same test. They can go into solutions, so they can see what they did wrong, and why did it wrong, and the companion is also available inside the solutions of their full test. But then also all these analytics are actionable, right? So if I know that I did these wrong. So some of these, for example, craft and structure, I did this wrong. So it's call to action. It takes me right to my learning path and help me continue practice, because it detects that that's my area of improvement, and so it's a continuous practice, and then reattempting the full test. So very similar view for teachers. So teachers can see all their students in a class, how they're performing, how much time they're spending on the platform, what was their latest full adaptive test score, and then also at the same time, like what's their individual topic skill level, so that the teacher exactly knows where to suggest student to focus. So it's a very powerful tool, and optimizes teacher time, and then gives one-to-one assistance to students. There are a lot more features packed, around gamification, so that the student remain engaged. But feel free to contact me. My information is right here in this screen. I'm really happy to connect, and then look forward to partnering with tutors, teachers, schools, and other educational institutions. Thank you so much. Bye bye.